see. So this is the lab. I would like to acknowledge that the UBC IDEA Lab that I have is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. And we are very privileged to have a lot of resources here that we are able to bring students and people together to do the research work. So we can see that, yes, Mark is right. The work that we do, it's a lot of fun when we bring people together. I remember that Annette and some of our patient and family partners that they're saying that when we have like these in-person meetings that we have together, it's almost like a party. So lots of fun, and I'll tell you a lot more about like the relationship that we have with our lab members and the fun. And you can see in this picture is that we have a really huge diversity, that we have students and from all different disciplines. We have students from engineering, psychology, medicine, and food and nutrition, kinesiology, business, and a lot of nursing students as well. So people get to know each other and do the research with our patient and family partners. So patient family partners have a really diverse backgrounds. So a lot of fun and a lot of rewarding experience and learning from each other. This intergenerational work is absolutely, it's extremely rewarding for all the people involved. And I have mentioned about, this is in our lab that we do community-based research and citizen science. So I welcome anyone in the call here today that if you have an interest to be involved and do research, and you do not need to have past research experience. If you have an interest and you want to work with us, just, don't be shy, come contact me, and we'll find ways to work with you. So in UBC, these are our underpinning, so that we philosophy, and we really try to focus and make sure that our work focus on social justice, equity, diversity, and inclusions. So it's very clear that that it has been practiced in how we do the work that we demonstrate that we want to focus on the populations with dementia. And we also not only wanted to work with people that they are in early stage, we also want to help people who needed the technology the most. Like people could be in later stage of dementia, and people have multiple disabilities. It's about equity, diversity. We want to help all kinds of people, not just any particular type. And it being inclusive is extremely important for us. Yeah. Yep. Oh, we do have Mario in the pictures. Mario is right. And this is a research paper that we have published and talked about the telepresence robot. So I'll talk about the different kind of robots that we have been working on in the last few years. And like Mark did the introduction, that about like the work that we focus on social connections and trying to address social isolations. And the robots we want to understand how robots can play a role to help people socially connected. So this particular paper that was published in BMC, that you can see that we have patient and family partners too. Like we have you can see Charlie is an engineering student here, and we have Ali is also an engineering student, and we have Joey here, a PhD student, and we have Jim here. And the paper was about how we use a robot to do a research to look at loneliness in long-term care during the pandemic. So we have like wonderful people like Lily. She learned, she doesn't even own a cell phone, but she learned how to use the technology and use the robot to help us to do the interview with the older people living in the nursing home. So yeah, so there's lots of possibility. You don't have to be tech savvy in order to work with us in the lab. So I'll tell you a little bit about the robot project. And the robot, it's kind of like an iPad, and it can roll around on the stick. And you can see that in this picture here, that Jim is Jim co-lead this project with us, and he was involved in applying for the grant, and we got the grant, and he was involved in coming to research meeting every week with us to help the student to like problem solve, and making sure that our research keep progressing. And so you can see that Jim was on this robot, and he was talking to a resident in a long-term care home. And Jim has also helped me to we have presented his home at many different places, and he often talked about his experience in this long-term care home, that when he rolled into the care home, he talked to the staff and he talked to the older people in the care home. These people saw Jim, it was not any kind of problematic encounter. They saw him, it's very naturally that, you know, Jim started to talk to them and they got into conversation with him and they went on and they talk and they laugh. So it was really great to be able to, during that time that when we have like a lot of visitor restriction, and Jim was able there to go in there to talk to the staff and talk to the residents about their experience. Yeah. So the robot's kind of like an iPad with a view, and Jim was away from the site and he was able to learn how to like remotely move the robot. It's a mobile robot, so he could move around in the care home from one side of the dining room to the other side of the dining room and talk to different people. So that paper that I mentioned about, we talked about how do we use this robot as a research tool to help us to do the research. So it was very interesting that let me show you this video about how the robot was being used in the long-term care home to help them to do a video conferencing. So one of the particular problem that we heard that during the pandemic is we asked a person living with dementia to have a video call with the family. That means that we will have to we'll have to have a staff to be with that person, make sure that, you know, that we're able to log in, make sure that, you know, that the person is able to hear it and hold the iPad. But with this robot, there's nothing need to be done on the resident side because the family takes the front seat, and when they are the one who make the call, and they could move the robot around, roll the robot in front of the person and start talking. So I'm going to show you how it works.
Này đây không nói nào mà cái sĩ là cái thấy tôi đi hổ về
Comes in. So, you know, that requires like no zero effort from the person, the patient or the residents in the care home. So it makes it very easy for the family to have that video call. So in here, you view. Yeah, yeah. Look at this. So it was very helpful during the pandemic to have a tool like that. And the robot also has potential to be used as a research tool, and we can have our patient and family partners to do interviews with the resident that they don't have to go into the care home. They could just remotely connect and to do the interviews. And even right now, the restrictions are all subsided. People could come into to the nursing home and to do in-person visit. A lot of our people that they have been using the robot for 2 years, they got so used to the robot, and they continue to use the robot on a daily basis. So we have a person that his wife will connect with him every night to check in, even though she goes in to see him every day, but she would also make the call to make sure that he's settled. And in the beginning, that when he was first admitted to the care home, and he had a really hard time, he really struggled to accept the placement of the care home. So the staff had a lot of struggle about trying to help him to accept the care. So sometimes they will show up that he's aggressive, you know, he's hitting the staff and refusing the care. I mean, anyone who work in a care home understand situations like that happens. So through the robot, so the staff were able to like have the wife to come in through the robot. So it becomes a triad that they work together. So then like over time, then he got settle, and then they got so used to the robot, and this person called the robot is his friend. It becomes like his family. So here it's a paper that we recently published to look at. We know that the residents absolutely it's easy for them to use and they love the robot, and the family likes the robot, and it's easy for them to learn how to use the robot and give them a lot of power that they could log in and they could do the video call from anywhere in the world. And we have a daughter who was having a wedding and in Dubai, and she was able to got her mother involved in the care home that to see like go through the wedding process. We have so many of these like compelling stories that the families that they are very global still can remain connected with their loved ones in their care home because of the robot. So we also wanted to know okay, so the family loves the robot and the residents are able to use it because it doesn't really require any particular login or any barriers. So we also wanted to know that what about the staff? What do they think about using technology like robots? And so we have done a survey, and the survey also told us that the staff actually are quite optimistic about having robotics in their care. So it was interesting that how the staff see that having a robot to be part of their everyday care. And if anyone who haven't interested to learn more about what do the staff think about having a robot in the long-term care home, and here's a paper that you can read. But I want to point out something very interesting about the authorship of the paper. So I mentioned about we work with the public. So we have like people like Jim. He's a person living with dementia, and he's a strong advocate, and he helps us with the research. So you can see Jim is an author here that he co-lead our project. But also it's very interesting that we have Evangeline. Evangeline is a high school student. So I mentioned about we do citizen science. We engage the public to help us with the research. Evangeline, she's living in New York, and she had a very strong interest that she wanted to be involved in. She wanted to learn about research, and she wanted to know how she could help. So she contacted us, we got her involved, and she learned some of the things that she helped us with some of the work in the research, and she becomes a co-author, and she received multiple awards from being involved in this project as well. So you can see that it is very possible to have the public to be involved in our research, and we can find ways to accommodate and then to work together. And previous research experience it's not required. So anyone, again, I'm trying to recruit here, anyone who have an interest, wanted to work with us, just let me know. So here, so one of the things that people come to us, and often that especially young students, and that they come to us and they told us that they want to work with the people that are in the front line, and they want to work with the residents and the patients. They want to be able to make a meaningful difference to contribute to the society. So you can see that this is the nature of our work. It's very community-based. When we work with the care homes, and we work closely with the frontline staff. So when we have volunteers from the public, when we have students who come to work with us, and they have that opportunity to work alongside with the staff to have a really deep understanding about the workflow and what does it mean when you have to bring in a technology, and how do you implement, and what are some of the enablers and some of the barriers, and how do we overcome those barriers when we have introduced the technology in the care home or hospital. So the nature of our work is very much like implementation science. Like I often talk to we work closely with a lot of industry. In fact, this morning that we have a industry partner came to us and introduced us some very cutting edge new technology about sound, 3D sound. And we got into a conversation about like, yes, we can do all kinds of wonderful technology, and industrial partners and people who are in engineering and scientists, so that they are very capable of creating these like wonderful technology. But sometimes the tricky part is how do we introduce the technology into a care setting, like a long-term care home? It's very complex. How do you work with people? So you can place a 10-person robot or any kind of robot and any other type of technology into a care home. If you cannot get the people to feel comfortable to use it, and if it's not easy enough for the people to use it, if it's all kinds of barrier that, that hinder people to use it, that very likely a lot of times these technology will become abandoned. Then the robot could be sitting in the bathroom and nobody's gonna touch it. So it's really important to have to spend the time, to invest the time, try to understand and work alongside with the users. In our cases, the long-term care staff, nurses and care staff and recreation staff, and physicians, trying to understand what will help them to use the technology and what might be some of the problems that we can overcome together. And so in order for us to stay connected and keep communicating, so we use all kinds of methods. You can see in the pictures that we do have a lot of fun. Mark was right. We have lots of smiling pictures. And then when we go to the site, and we often, that we will bring in bubble tea, you can see that it's popping, and we can bring in treats, and we do games and to help people to learn about, how do you park the robot and how do you care for the robot. And we publish monthly newsletter and tell people that really try to highlight or showcase that the good work that each of the care home, that when we have these staff working closely with us, and what is each month, what are the things that they have accomplished. So we have 20 of these robots that they are distributed to use 5 care homes in Lower Mainland. So it's been 2.5 years, almost 3 years. So we are getting towards the end of the projects. So it's been really very, very, very fun. Yeah. So here are some of the impacts that we have seen that we see the positive impact, because I mentioned about our goal is to help to reduce loneliness and social isolations. We help family to stay connected with their loved one by using the robots. We wanted that people have a sense of autonomy rather than feeling frustrated, that they were able to log in or they have they can't hear. So the robot solved all those problems because it has amplifier that it makes people a lot easier to hear, and the screen it works much better, and the family could control and move the robot up and down or tilt it, bring it close to the person. Yeah. So it helps to relieve care burden as well, because the family often feel guilt if they're not able to connect or to hear from their loved one, or worry about what's going on with their loved one. So it's very easy having a robot that they could have conversation with their mom. We have a person that in one of the care home that her daughter will it becomes a routine now that she will call in every 10 o'clock in the morning, and she would do exercise with her mom together with the robot. And after the exercise, and she would drink a glass of water with her mom. So making sure that that gets done every day. That was so good. Get your exercise done and get yourself hydrated. And we also learned about having the infrastructure support and resources is really important for these kind of technology implementations, and having ongoing support. And Jim often talk about, that we need the government and policy, and to support, to make sure that everyone have access to Wi-Fi. It's a basic human right that these days, and that a lot of things that we need for our quality of life relies on Wi-Fi. So having access to Wi-Fi extremely important. And we see a lot of equity issues about there are certain care homes have better Wi-Fi, other care homes do not have good Wi-Fi. And sometimes even within the care home that one floor have better Wi-Fi and another floor do not have Wi-Fi, and which is kind of unfortunate, if you're being placed in the floor that, that does not have good Wi-Fi, right? And yeah, so accessible and stable Wi-Fi extremely important. The staff retention, I think all of the organizations are working very hard. Mark talked about hopefully in the village, the dementia village, that we have a really robust model that the staff will feel that the work is rewarding for them. So then we will have a good staff retention, that we won't have the problem that we've staff keep leaving. In our project during the pandemic, we really struggle with, we did a lot of training. We invest a lot of time and energy to do staff training. And when the staff leave the job, then it's not just the frontline staff, but also leadership as well. And some of the senior nurses or the manager when they leave the job, and it's very difficult for technology implementations, because that means that we have to redo all the training and all the relationship that we built, and we have to restart all over again. Yeah. And yes. So another paper that we have published to look at this one is about the experience of the residents and the family. So anyone, I'm not going to go into details, but I'm going to show you a little video about that. But also I wanted to highlight that we have Alzheimer's Society that was involved in the project. Where Kish is there. You can see Lily Wong is our superstar. Like she's in her 80s, and she helps us with all stages of the research. She's always there whenever we need her, and she helps with data collection. She comes to our weekly meeting, and yeah, she's just wonderful. She helps us to present in a international conference as well. Jim, I don't have to say anymore. You all know Jim. And that's family partner. And we have Erica, a student, and we have Alice, a student. Nasia was a engineering student. We have Lily, a PhD student. Joey, a PhD student. And Grace is also, Grace is an undergrad student. And you can see that our team is very diverse when we do this kind of work. Yeah. So let me show you this one. It tells you a little story about when they did the visit and how it goes.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, honey.
We ran Grandpa's cake.
We brought cake. Birthday cake.
Say,
Person mentioned about that they do
no,
exercise.
we're together in different places.
Yes.
That's what we said.
Yeah, we have so many compelling stories to tell, and it's a wonderful study. I should acknowledge like that. Thank you for Vancouver Foundation for funding the telebusiness robot project, and thank you for all of everyone that was involved, and patient and family partners, and the public, a lot of volunteers and a lot of students that involved in the projects. And I'm gonna switch the topic to virtual reality now. So virtual reality, and it was very interesting that when we started the virtual reality and projects, we were wondering, okay, there are like young people love virtual reality. What about those folks that they are living in long-term care home? Can they benefit from virtual reality? So people have different assumptions. Can people with dementia even would be able to tolerate virtual reality? Would they be willing to wear the headphones? And what it means to have the headset to cover their face, and would it be even possible to do this? So we had we worked with an industrial partner with a company, and then we were funded by MyTech and we got some funding from VCHRI. Then we wanted to look at, is it actually feasible? If it's feasible, what might be some of the facilitators and barriers to implement these virtual reality to support people the folks living in long-term care homes. So again, it's very implementation science, and we have a very large team, and we have volunteers, and again, the same kind of like students, and yeah. So we started with looking at the evidence, and the evidence, it was very clear that we look at 22 articles, and we specifically wanted to look at social isolations and how virtual reality could support people. And we actually, it was in these articles that told us that some of the really practical tip before we actually started to launch the project was make sure you work with the local champions, the frontline staff, and provide good training with the staff. If the staff, they are confident about supporting the residents who use the headset, the virtual reality, then you have a better chance of success. And some of the, in the literature, talk about some of the barriers about using the technology was making sure, the technology it's adaptable to the personal needs of the residents, and organization cultures as well. Like some organizations are more keen on innovations, and if you work with those organizations, then you have a better chance to have success. So I could show you a little bit how it works. This is a headset, and you can see that how this person responded to virtual reality, and
You didn't have to do it again.
did it feel like it come right to your face?
Yes. I'm still in here and he's trying to decide whether he's coming after me or not.
Was it scary?
No.
No. Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it?
It is. And if you know what you're not going to do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it's when, that's a little close.
It's a little close.
That's a little close. Definitely a little close.
Oh, what's this?
It's a little bear cub.
It's a bear cub, and then there's this.
sorry.
That's okay. And then there's this huge, big
Yeah.
guy coming. How come you guys keep coming? Why are you guys? I think I better go home. But you know something that's really interesting, that they have a sense of some of us are better, or like we don't fight with them, or we aren't afraid of them. And that's what makes the difference.
Okay.
And so I get to see them closer than most people do.
And you feel safe?
Yes, I feel safe. Because I'm not doing anything to them that tells them that I'm going to do anything to them.
Okay.
We're gonna take a detour into Africa. You tell me which kind of animals these ones are approaching. We're going on a safari.
There's the elephant. Here's the elephant. You didn't have to do it again.
So you can see that it's very possible to have the resident to enjoy the benefits of virtual reality, including people all levels of dementia. And people were very had a lot of fun, a lot of laugh, and to be able to be transported to a virtual world. That in this case that you saw that they went to see all kinds of animals. They also go air balloon up in the air. They go underwater to see sea turtle. They go swim with the dolphins. They go airplane, and they go travel the world. They go to museum. That all kinds of possibilities that it makes it very easy for them that they are just in a in a common areas that in a care home, and having a staff, in this case that they had a recreation staff to help them to run a group, and they all wear their headset together, and they were able to like run these programs on a regular basis. So it is possible. People with dementia can benefit from technology, but it's really about the key. It's about like helping the staff to feel confident about how to use the technology, how to log in, and how to like to clean the headset, and how to support people. And there are programs, that on this particular virtual reality program, there are facilitator notes. So the staff can be trained to use those notes to help people if they're going to a museum to looking at particular art. They don't have to be an expert in Van Gogh. That's also all of these the notes we can help them to, or if they're going to traveling, that there's facilitator notes that can help people to facilitate a really meaningful program for these people. So it makes a lot of things that becomes like possible by just putting the headset on over the head. Yeah. And of course that we have learned that, that not everyone like to have the headset on their face as well. So we have been exploring some of the other possibility. I don't know, maybe we'll have time to show you how the staff responded to one of the residents. I want to also show you the staff.
Oh my god, it seems I'm there. Wow!
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
So cool.
Very calming. I don't know, it just looks really real. Ah, you will love it.
No, yes. Keep looking. Look around. Turn your head. You can hear them looking.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, a little more. Oh, bigger than me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to do
I
that.
like it.
Things you like to see.
Oh my. Oh my.
This is very soothing, right? Very relaxing.
You guys are having fun doing this, aren't you? Yeah. You'll have fun too with us. Oh, I will.
There's way to walk outside and play.
Yeah, come on.
So you can see it is very possible. People love it. And it's really a matter of like, how do we facilitate it? Yeah. So, and we also wanted to work with like, after the 2 years of the virtual reality program, that we work with the 3 long-term care homes. And we want to look at other possibilities and options for the people that they may not tolerate the headsets. Some people are more sensitive to motion sickness, and wearing the headset, it's difficult. It's just, you know, that some people are just are not so comfortable having the headset over their head, and other people have. You can see those people that we saw in the videos that it was no problem for them. But we wanted to make sure that the work that we do is inclusive, so it could benefit everyone. So we were looking at other options. So we have been starting to look at using projections going to the wall. And I want to show you this video it's in a VGH, that we have projectors that mount into the ceiling that project to the hospital hallway. So when it was a lot going on in the dining room, and if a patient becomes like a bit like agitated because of the noise, or they are, for some reason, they're just upset. So the staff could walk them down to the hallway to this is at the end of the hallway in an alcove. And what they do is like, they will turn on the projector and pick a video, and they could watch together. Can I show, I'm going to demonstrate it. So
interest, I played the What Do You Like video a lot.
okay, let's try it.
Okay, it asks questions, which is nice. It has that, you know, more upbeat sounds.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute. So you can see that like most of the care home have projectors, and these are inexpensive solutions. It's quite easy to do. We just mount it into the ceiling and project it to the wall. And we were heard from the nurses said that when they have patients, that if they were having trouble to sleep at night, and if they were calling out, and they would bring them to spend some time and go watch the underwater, and it seemed to calm them down. So we're always trying to find innovative ways, and that's also like that's simple, user-friendly, that's and also trying to work with the staff to try to overcome if there's anything that's hindered them to use the technology. In this particular case, that when we started with the use the projections, and then the staff like kind of work with us, and then we installed fire sticks, and then they have the fire sticks kind of like a remote control. They put a Velcro at the back of the remote control. And so that the remote control, when they come, they bring up a patient down to the hallway, and then they just grab the remote control from the wall, take it off from the Velcro, and they turn it on, and then they pick the video. So it's literally just 2 steps. And then when they finish picking the video, they put the fire sticks or the remote control back to the wall, so you don't lose the remote control. So it's been working really well. So we've been using this for over a year, and the staff use it every day. So I mentioned about like we wanted to make sure that we want our technology to be able to benefit everyone. So we are starting to do more deep work with trying to explore what all kinds of possibility to help people that with different disability to be able to enjoy the technology. So you can see that Alvin is our technology engineering student here, and then we're working with a workshop. And let me show. We really we want to welcome anyone that who have an interest to be involved in research and come join us, and it's really a lot of fun. Yeah. And I'm gonna switch topic to another robot. This is we have a Eva robot here, and we have a LaFont robot. So I want to be able to show you. So I'm gonna go a little bit quicker now. And Eva robot, it's a robot, it's a surface robot that was designed to do environmental inspection. So it will go to do rounds to pick up if there's any risk, then they will report, like if there's a splash of the water or if there's anything that environmental risk, it will report. But it was interesting that, last year the ChatGPT came out and we were wondering, what about if we put the ChatGPT into the robot? Because when the robot's doing the rounds, and maybe it could also help people to be socially connected as well. So we wanted to look at that, and these is some of the functions of the Eva robot. So I want to show you that the social functions. So the robot can play games. I'm just gonna show you a little bit by using the ChatGPT, the AI functions.
What do you know about games like guessing games?
Sure, I can recommend some games. What type of games are you interested in? Are you looking for video games, board games, or outdoor games? Let me know so I can suggest something fun for you.
I want to play I Spy with My Little Eye.
That sounds like a fun game. I'll start. I spy with my little eye something that is blue. Can you guess what it is?
Is it the sofa?
Great guess, but it's not the sofa. Keep trying. Here's a hint. It's something smaller and can be found in the living room. What do you think it is?
So that just gives you a little taste, that the robot can have conversation with people and can play games, and it can sing, do karaoke, and it can tell jokes, tell you the weather, and read books, and then there's lots of possibilities. And we are really just trying to test, like, what does it mean by having an AI robot in care home? So we wanted to look at the literature, see what some of the things that people have written about using AI, artificial intelligence enabled robots with people in long-term care. So this is a protocol that we have published, and we just finished the scoping review, and that just stay tuned, and that will be coming out too, that we can tell you about the results of that paper, the literature review. So I'm just going to spend maybe the next few minutes to talk to you about another robot. Some of you may have seen it in the Van Dusen Garden. This is a LaFont robot, and LaFont stands for love robot. The two words put together, LaFont. LaFont, it's a robot that's developed in Japan, that in Japan, they call it, this is the #1 most popular robot that it does nothing for you. So it's very interesting because it's not doing any housework. It doesn't vacuum the floor. It does not do no work for you. But people really loved it. So we want to understand that, okay, if something like that, it was very popular in Japan, people seem to embrace it and love it. I think mostly for, for companions. So the robot is kind of like a domestic cat. It's, you have it in the home, it follows you. When you come home, it's excited to see you. And yeah, I always wanted you to pet it. And yeah, so we wanted to see if a robot like that will be also be welcome in Canada as well. So we took the robot to some of the care homes and a lot of people in the community to see what they think about the robot. So just to tell you a little bit about the robot had really high tech, or he has a sensor horn. The sensor horn has a thermal 360 camera that it can allow the robot to see the environment, the whole environment for real time interactions. There's machine learning inside the robot that allow the robot to adapt to the person. The more the robot interact with the person, then they can adjust itself. And it has facial recognitions with the eyes, and it also has sensors to be able to hear the voice. And the eyes, and you can see that it's quite sophisticated. There's a 6 layer of lenses, all kinds of the touch sensors, and it has probably the most smooth movement with these wheels. I'm going to show you a little bit about how it moves around. It's autonomous. That means that the robot, when it needs battery, when it's tired, then it knows to go back to its nets to charge itself. So we don't have to lift it or put it in the charge. And it takes about 10 minutes to charge. When it's fully charged, and the robot come out and with a stretch, and then come out and look for people to play with it. So we have 2 robot, Kiwi and Mango. And Kiwi, let me see, this is Kiwi. Very cute, eh? And this is Mango. In the lab here. And I'm going to show you a news that was done by...
You're sleepy.
102-year-old Charlotte England has an audience of robots keeping her company.
I'm going to make Nanaimo bars.
Social robots, in fact. Meet Kiwi and Mango. They're at the center of a study examining whether artificial intelligence can be used to help care for older people. They're a big hit with residents here. They say the pandemic left many seniors feeling isolated.
I think one of these to help the loneliness would be great. I don't see my children that often, but I mean, I could play with him all morning.
It's fun company, you know, kind of. You don't have to feed them, you don't have to clean them, you don't have to take them for a walk. Perfect.
The AI companions are the size of a small pet and use emotional robotic software that learns and mimics human emotion.
As soon as you come home from work, it will run to the door to greet you. It gets really active, and it actively seeks your love. It follows you everywhere, and it goes to the home to follow all different kind of people and try to check up to see what people's doing. It's kind of like a domestic cat.
With a 360-degree camera on top, these 2 can recognize faces and voices, even reach up for a hug.
So it knows that Tanya is standing there, and you're standing there with the camera. This robot loves camera, so it always looks at the camera.
The 2 have been trained to take after their lead companion, leading to different personalities and even moments of jealousy.
Oh, you're getting jealous? You want to be touched too? Yes, you do.
UBC researchers worked with the Japanese manufacturer to bring Kiwi and Mango here, and now Canada is part of an ongoing international study that also includes Hong Kong and Singapore to study human-robot interactions. Am I right? Researchers say they'll gather and analyze the results from around the globe.
So we want to compare our data. It's kind of unique. It's a little bit different here in Canada. The Canadians are a little bit reserved in terms of like having new technology like this.
They'll spend the next few months recording interactions between the residents and robots, then publish those findings to help shape the future of seniors' care. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, West Vancouver.
Okay, so I think looking at the clock, so I think I'm gonna stop here. This is just a lot. We have done a lot of community activities and just to bring the robot everywhere to meet people. And I'm gonna just want to say thank you for spending